I'm back. Let's say you and me are hanging out because, we're close personal friends. Not everyone that's part of the Big Blue phantom, but you specifically who clicked on this video, you and me are great close friends. We're hanging out, but we get in a real bad fight. I connect to the Bluetooth, I open my music app, and I start playing a song that you hate. You despise it. I like this song. It plays in my car regularly when you're not around. But you hate it, and I know that. Maybe it just came up. Maybe I picked a playlist and it showed up. Maybe I chose that song specifically. Whatever the case... Did you get your donut?
Yes! Yes!
Whatever the case is, the fact that that song upsets you, the fact that maybe you're going to be a bit more irritable now, maybe you're just going to be a bit more defeated and easier to argue with, that fact exists, and whether or not I chose that song for that reason... I can benefit from that. The color of the year is white.
Cloud Dancer demonstrates our desire for contentment and feelings of peace, unity, and cohesiveness.
So the experts at Pantone have made their decision, and it was a weird one, and it pretty quickly became, a little piece of debate on the internet because there's one type of person who took to Instagram to say, hey, this is a dog whistle. They're siding with Nazism, with fascism. This is a problem. Pantone is very bad. This is a dog whistle.
Hey, Pantone, you're fired. You really chose white?
And then there's another type of person who's saying, no, you're just being, triggered by a color. That's ridiculous. This isn't just a color that exists that people are bothered by. This is a color that was chosen. They chose for this entire year, the year where ICE detentions have hit record numbers, the year where racial profiling is now allowed again, I guess. They chose white. It's not a color that just existed that people are upset by. It was a choice. One of the things with dog whistles that makes them so hard to talk about is that there is deniability kind of built in, right? Because a dog whistle is a thing that some people or, dogs will hear and others won't. Some will feel like they know the real message, see the code or whatever, and others just won't see it, right? So there's always an excuse that can be made. Oh, we chose this color because the world needs more tranquility or whatever the fuck they said. Oh, no, we just said Sydney Sweeney has great genes because we think she's super hot and you do too and everyone's in on the joke, right? There's always something that can be said to say, oh, you're just acting crazy. But just because someone can deny what they're saying doesn't mean that they didn't say what they said. Was the whole Sydney Sweeney thing a nod towards Nazism and fascism? I don't fucking know, man. But what I do know is someone who is a Nazi would see an ad that says, this blonde woman with blue eyes has great genes, and their response would be, hell yeah, she does. Whether or not American Eagle is a racist company or whatever, they did make a claim that racists would like. Someone who agrees with Donald Trump's immigration policy, someone who feels strongly in a positive way about all of these ICE detainments, I want you to think about them seeing this color. Pantone coming out and saying, hey, this is the year of white. That felt crazy to say. How would those people feel? They'd feel really, really good, obviously, because of course it's the year of the white. We're doing great. Donald Trump's cleaning, whatever. And whether or not Pantone was actually going for a white supremacist idea, they did put out an idea that a white supremacist would be pretty stoked about. And they knew that. And this is where it gets into like, is it a dog whistle or is it a corporation? And I guess, does that matter? Are they looking at what some could call a fascist movement in America right now.
Thank you, President Donald J. Trump, for securing our border, for deporting criminal illegal immigrants, and for putting America first. Leave now. If you don't, we will find you.
You will never return.
Saying, hey, we're with that. This is the year of the white. Or are they doing something that they understand would bring controversy, and they're giving people a chance to take offense to their choice?
We knew that people would have emotions about this year's color. When I first learned of the color, I thought, oh, this is going to be pretty controversial.
I do think that this was a dog whistle in some way. I do think that they looked at the year where a lot of people are feeling that white supremacy is here more than it's ever been, or at least is more public than it's ever been. Can you not hit that, buddy? It makes my camera move. And they're noticing that Pantone is aligning themselves with that, or at the very least, aligning themselves in a way that those people wouldn't have a problem with. Do you know what I mean? But did they make it because they're racist? Are all the color experts just huge Nazis who hate immigrants? You know, I don't know. Probably not, I guess. I don't think it's really fair to go out and say, oh, they're racists because of this decision, but that doesn't mean that this is just a business decision with no impact that they get to kind of slide on because, hey, you guys rage baited, you made controversy, congratulations. No, I don't think so. We are in a bad spot economically. Things are looking very recession-y. The economy's not doing well. Unless you consider the generative growth of AI, things aren't looking very good. A lot of people are losing jobs. And when it gets down to brass tacks, when it gets down to, oh shit, something needs to change in this economy, the changes are made with the arts, the things that are useless. That's what goes first. Cultures in general just care a lot less about making art. They care a lot less about aesthetics, which is what colors are, when there's no food on the table. Why wouldn't you toe the line? And I don't even mean making a choice here of, you know, right or left or liberal or progressive or whatever. There's a lot of fucking colors. There's so many colors that you could choose. Why not choose a color that the orange man would be pretty chuffed with? Why not make that choice? The controversy is going to build up. Everyone's going to love it. There's going to be a whole plethora of people willing to defend it because it's very defendable. It's kind of a win-win. The problem for me is that we're at a place where companies more and more are feeling okay with aligning their brand image or their values with something that I find inherently bad and toxic. Symbols have power. I mean, it's kind of all we have. Humans, our whole evolution is about finding patterns and finding symbols. And when you look at an America right now that is, I would say, more hostile towards immigrants living in this country than it has been in a long time, and then someone gets on stage and says, the color this year is white. The way that you feel about that, the uncomfortableness that you feel, is not a mistake. And they know that, and they did that on purpose. At the very least, this was a very unfortunate year to pick white. But, you know, there's no grading scale. There's no colors in line waiting their turn. This wasn't a coincidence. The Pantone experts pick this every single year. They pick, I would argue, an essentially random color because it's subjective at the end of the day. And they chose to pick that color. They chose to pick a color that would create this controversy. I don't think that they're racist, or at the very least, I don't think that we can say that they're racist just off of this alone, but I do think that they're okay with someone, probably a lot of people, sitting in their house, opening their phone and seeing some Times article or something that says the color of the year is this color, and they go, hell yeah, it is. I think there's a lot of people that did that, and I think that Pantone is okay with making those people feel okay, and that's not okay.